So YNW Melly's lawyers file a motion to dismiss the case. I'm sure, as you all know by now, YNW Melly is facing charges for a double homicide, and his lawyers are actually accusing the DA of withholding evidence of misconduct by Mark Moretti, who is the lead detective in this case. So apparently Detective Moretti had executed a search warrant in order to obtain YNW Melly's mother's cell phone, but he had executed this search warrant outside of the jurisdiction. And so the defense argues that this makes the search illegal. Not only that, as part of the execution, the defense attorneys argue that Detective Moretti had used excessive force in obtaining the phone. And so the defense argues that they should have had an opportunity to question Detective Moretti as to whether he had actually committed a robbery or a battery on YNW Melly's mother when he was obtaining this cell phone. And what are your thoughts on this? I mean, do you think the judge should grant this motion and throw out this case? Let me know in the comments below. Again, if the prosecution had provided the defense with this information, it would allow for a major attack on Detective Moretti's credibility as a witness, because it would show his willingness to conspire with other deputies to obstruct justice and to create false filings. And if this is true, which, I mean, I hope it's not, I would say that this is absolutely information that the defense should have been made aware of. They should have been turned over all the documentation relating to this, and they should have had every opportunity to cross-examine Detective Moretti on this issue at trial. And if these allegations are true, this definitely speaks to the actions of overzealous law enforcement officers and prosecutors. I mean, it just goes to show the length that they can go, basically pushing aside the Constitution, fundamental fairness, and justice, essentially cutting corners just to secure a conviction. And that is improper. It is wrong. It's against the law. No matter what a person is charged with or what the allegations are, you can't do this. And let me know what you think. I mean, what do you think when you hear about these stories or similar instances of police and prosecutorial misconduct? The DA's office will certainly have an opportunity to respond to these allegations, and they definitely will do so. And ultimately, the judge will rule on this motion. If this motion is granted, the case will be dismissed, YNW Melly will be freed, and he will not have to go to trial after all. If the motion is denied, he's scheduled to proceed to trial on October 9th on these double homicide charges. Me personally, I really can't stand hearing about misconduct by law enforcement officers and prosecutors. I mean, I have personally seen and personally handled cases where police straight up lie about things, and it's just frustrating to no end because it's such a blatant abuse of power, and most of the time these guys don't get caught. Have you ever experienced or know of somebody who was the victim of police misconduct? Let me know in the comments below. And this makes this all the more interesting an issue when we consider what happened at trial. This was a mistrial based on a hung jury. And so you wonder if the evidence of this alleged misconduct had been properly turned over to the defense and they had an opportunity to cross-examine Detective Moretti on these issues, might there have been more holdout jurors? Could there have been an acquittal? In other words, 12 jurors finding YNW Melly not guilty? I mean, we'll never know. So we'll see how the judge rules on this motion and whether this case ultimately goes to trial. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.